Havisokotane, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on Power 98.7.
Right, we go to other issues now because the Graduate Institute of Financial Sciences, GIFS, recently won what they call a notable victory in advocating on behalf of hundreds of financial services industry employees left in limbo due to inexplicable delays in remittance of their certificate. Since GIFT stepped up the pressure on the regulator, the Insurance Sector Education and Training Authority has processed in recent months 319 certificates, and GIFS says that it is delighted on behalf of the learners because this matter hit the headlines in January, and many people did not realize that at the heart of this problem were hundreds of mainly young people who had effectively been prevented from progressing in their careers because they could not obtain their certificates despite having completed all the required work. Dr. Kershen Pillay, who's the CEO of the Graduate School of Financial Sciences, joins us on the line. Dr. Pillay, thank you for your time. How are you?
TK, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me online.
Thank you so much. Just give us background with regards to this particular story because it seems like it's speaking specifically to the insurance sector.
It is speaking specifically to the insurance sector, TK, but it does affect every South African in our country, particularly our youth of South Africa and the unemployment crisis that we are facing. So, TK, what had happened is we've been advocating for our learners to be certified timeously. And there was a point in time where the INSETA had almost 80,000 records hanging across the financial services sector, where when we say 80,000 records hanging, we mean 80,000 learners hanging, where they weren't being quality assured and certified to receive a part qualification or a full qualification. And in the insurance sector, if you do not have the certificate, you cannot give financial advice to the consumer. And if you cannot give financial advice because you don't have your certificate, you unfortunately will not be able to have a job in our sector.
So are these students who were at higher education institutions, or were they trained by other institutions aligned to the SETA?
So all these learners were trained by institutions that were accredited via the SETA. And GIFS was one such organization. So we had sent out a notice to say that to the INSETA, appealing to them to quality assure the hundreds of learners that are deserving of their qualifications. And it was not working properly, or it was not being done. But thanks to the media, we are here to tell a very different story. We are seeing learners that are now getting their certificates because through civil society, through the voice of GIFS, through the voice of media and the financial services sector at large, our learners are finally getting certified, which means they can get gainful employment.
What kind of courses are we talking about here, just for clarity's sake?
Sure. So let me break it down to make it a little bit more easier for us to relate. So the person that is selling you car insurance and home insurance, that's a short-term insurance qualification. That's the qualification. The people that's doing your life insurance policy, your retirement policies, that's the qualification. People at the banks that are helping you set up all your banking services and all the banking advice that you need, those are the qualifications.
I see. And what was the holdup?
To be very honest with you, TK, we are trying to identify that ourselves. What is the holdup? And in our opinion, it is just gross maladministration linked to what our allegation is and what are the allegations of other entities like civil society, bodies like OUTA. Everyone believes that it's rooted in maladministration and alleged corruption. That is as simple as what's causing and expediting youth unemployment in our country and preventing our learners from receiving certificates.
Yeah. So how does it work? I mean, just take us through the process, because you seem to be saying they had completed their courses they just could not be accredited. In other words, in simple terms, get their certificates.
Sure. So if I would explain it to you, it's almost like a relay, TK. And how this relay works is, as an educational provider accredited by the INSETA, you are responsible for training this learner, making sure that that they attend classes and they complete their assignments and they do their exams. Once you do that, you then have to mark it, assess it, make sure everything is in order. And once you have validated that all of your learners have actually, passed the internal protocols and the protocols of the INSETA, you request something called a verification or a validation. Then the INSETA will send out a verifier to come and say, okay, this is correct, we verify and we endorse these learners.
I see.
And once that's done, the INSETA then has to issue out a statement of a result and certificate. So they do everything right up to the verification stage, but the wheels fall off when they need to start on their system by validating, quality assuring those learners and issuing of those certificates. That's where the wheels fall off.
I think you guys did fantastically well to aid those that were in limbo. What about those that are still in limbo? What is your advice to them? Can they come to you and say, hey, I heard you talking to TK on Power Drive yesterday. I have the same problem. I want you to assist.
So I would suggest what they do is that they go directly to the INSETA, because what our fellow skills development providers are telling us, so our other educational institutions and our employers are saying to us, is that now that it has reached the public, as soon as they're going to them, they are trying to speed up those certificates. And it's such a pity, TK, that it had to come to this, because they should have done their job in the first place. They should have prevented youth unemployment. And some of the stories that you hear from these youngsters as to how it's impacted them, it's heart-wrenching.
I can imagine. Fantastic work, Dr. Pillay, and thank you so much for talking to us. We really appreciate it.
TK, it's only a pleasure, and thank you for giving us this platform. We really appreciate it.
Much appreciated. He's the CEO of the Graduate School of Financial Sciences, the GIFS, taking us to exactly 5 p.m. Time for news.